Wow, that was a lot. What does that make you feel watching that?
Hello. It was funny, like there's so much that I've forgotten, that seeing oh yeah, oh my god. And just so many cuddles. Lots of cuddles with my girl. Really cute to watch. She was so little.
I was such a baby. But do you remember the visceral memories of a lot of that, filming that?
Yeah, not really of the scenes themselves, but kind of like the BTS moments, like where we would film each of them. Like a lot of them were in fabricated sets, and that I kind of remember, the experience of being within that setting. Yeah.
But the Rotary loved.
I love the rover.
You're the only one.
So, we always ask Eliza, like, now that you're a mom for realsies, what do we have here?
Yes!
Oh, we have Griffin.
They came!
Griffin hats are here!
I'm so excited about this.
By the way, did you know that this one, when she had a fake ID, her fake ID name was Maddie Griffin on her fake ID.
No!
Yeah.
I swear to God, I didn't know what to name it, and when me and my friends just turned 17, we were like, we need to go to the clubs. And so we filled out this form to go pick it up from sketchy shop downtown.
Lola!
I named it, I had no other name because I wasn't gonna put Lola Flanery, that would be silly. So I put Maddie Griffin. But I made it, just wait, it gets better. I made it, so my mother's middle name is Lauren, so I made it Madison Lauren Griffin.
Well, you honored both of your mothers.
Yeah, I still have it to this day.
What was your mom's reaction to watching Clark play your mom? Was it what was her experience watching you sort of grow up on the show?
I mean, she was with us the entire time, so I think it was kind of the same, that's pretty normal, right?
Yeah, she was there. And I think we ask this every con, but it is a good one, especially now that, how old is Henry?
3.
So you've had 3 years, so, well, 4 if you count gestation period, of motherhood, and let's say you started that role now, and you had Maddie, right? You ran into Maddie and she became your daughter. How would you play Clark differently?
I don't know it's really hard to articulate, but I feel like I just think for me as an actor, you might not be able to tell on screen if there'd be any difference, but for me I would definitely feel, differently about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Makes sense.
Because I now know what it actually is like. And I didn't before. I was just guessing.
You were? Yeah. Well, this panel is very short, so we're actually...
oh, it's short.
It is because within a half hour we're running a little late, so there's a microphone right there if anyone would like to ask any of these ladies a question. We have some time to ask questions. Let me check my clock since I didn't do it.
I love it. Is that your fake
Is that your
ID?
real ID or fake
That's
ID?
my school ID.
Okay. We have 15 minutes, so you guys can line up. Go ahead.
Okay, so Eliza, me and my mom have been following you and Mom, your whole story since the very beginning. And I was just wondering, at what moment did it sort of click for you that he was the one, and just sort of how did that develop and grow?
Oh, wow. I feel like, the second that he said that he had feelings for me, I was like, oh. And then I was, but it was almost instant. I was like, oh yeah. Totally, let's do this thing, And then from there, it was so fast. It was because we'd known each other for so long, it was just so easy to, I knew from a very early time in our friendship that I didn't want him to ever not be in my life. I couldn't see my life without him in it, in some capacity. And so when we got together, it was just it didn't really need to develop. It was all the groundwork was there. It was just we just learned how to express it, It was incredible. I'm so in love with him. It's disgusting. But I feel the same way I did when we got together. It's the same feeling. It's just you're my person, It's the best,
Oh.
guys.
Great answer. Great question.
I
don't know.
I don't know what the exact reason. You know what? I think the girl who played Maddie at the end of season 4, was it season 4? Yeah. I think I get them mixed up sometimes. Was didn't have much prior experience, or wasn't going to be as big of a character as Maddie then became. And so when we got picked up for another season, I remember Jason saying he wanted an actress who had worked a lot, Lola, and you know, could handle those crazy days on set. Not to say that other gorgeous girl couldn't have done that, but that was their decision. So yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. I didn't think I knew, but then I did know.
Hi. So both of you play characters who got like possessed by other characters. So like in your case, Hedda, and in your case, you were like Josephine, and then Josephine pretending to be Clark, and then Clark pretending to be Josephine, which was insane and amazing. And I want to know how did you get into the mindset, both of you, to be possessed? What was it like? I don't know. Yeah, acting that.
It was fun. It was so fun. When that storyline came about, I was just like so excited about making this character as different as I could to Clark, and getting to work with Sarah, who played that character as well, was just such a fascinating process. Like workshopping how we were going to play the same character and convincingly, like all that stuff was just like an actor dream of mine. So I loved it. It was really fun and really challenging, especially when it was like Josephine, Josephine pretending to be Clark, pretending to be Josephine. I don't know, but it got crazy.
And like you did such a great job with the intricacies of like the body language, like you could immediately tell it was Josephine.
That was my goal.
Thank you.
Did you keep a word chart of did you keep track any?
Yeah, my scripts were covered in notes that season. They had to be. Yeah. It was just I had to really have it all mapped out.
And you got to smile and laugh and dance.
It was so good.
And take showers and wear dresses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I saw someone cosplay as Clark Josephine too.
Yeah.
They're not here right now, but yeah, she looks amazing.
Oh, I mean, it was really hard being 12, pretending to be how old was JR? Just like an adult man. Who was also a really scary adult man. JR is the sweetest human being. He's like a big teddy bear, and whenever we would film the scary scenes where he would be opposite of me, at the end of being like, I'm gonna kill you, blah, 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 cut, sweetie, are you okay? Just the kindest little, a doll. But it was still hard trying to develop the mannerisms of someone who's definitely not a 13-year-old girl. But it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of experimenting and a lot of oh gosh, how am I supposed to do this? But it was very fun.
Because Shade Hedda,
I
right?
pronounced it wrong 8 different times.
Okay. So he was I can't remember, so I'm just asking you. Hopefully you remember. I know that he possessed JR's character as well, right? But
Yeah, he possessed.
Into different,
He
I should ask
possessed JR's
you.
character, and then that possessed me,
And then he was like a spirit person, man.
Yeah.
A dark.
He was a former. Yeah.
Former commander. Thank you. Yes, I knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great
Well,
question.
awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. I was just wondering. Yeah.
Hi, question for both of you. Lola, what was it like to join a show, kind of in a later season when everyone had come to know each other? And Eliza, what was it like to have a new scene partner?
I was petrified. I was so scared. I mean, I was very little, and it was kind of my first experience, because I had done quite a bit of work for my age at the time prior to joining the 100, but that was my first time becoming such a prominent character and completely uprooting my life to go to Vancouver, and I was like, oh, this is going to be my life now, and I'm just completely joining this entirely new environment. And I was petrified. I was so scared going into it. I had to hype myself up every day, like in the mirror, being a little like 11-year-old, being like, you're gonna do great, I swear. But then as soon as I stepped on set, it was just, I felt completely at ease. I had gotten scared completely prior, like gonna pee my pants, totally. But then as soon as I got there, I was like, this is such a wonderful group of human beings that are so kind and accepting of me just wanting to ride around on my scooter most of the time. Yeah, I had that scooter. Yeah, and I was totally petrified, but as soon as I stepped foot onto set, I was like, this is so wonderful and so much fun. Yeah.
And for me, it was awesome. I mean, come on. Like, she was.
If you say so.
She is. You are adorable, but you were so adorable as a 11-year-old. Oh my gosh. I was 11 when I started working, so when I heard that Lola was coming on board, it was really, really important to me that she was treated well and that they didn't pull anything. And like, you know, I was just, yeah, I was like, I'm protecting her because, you know, I went through it as a kid. I think the laws are a lot better now, but I definitely was like overworked and definitely exposed to like some far too adult themes, I think, for a youngin'. In retrospect, at the time I was like, this is great, I loved it. But you can work me for 13 hours. Yeah, with Lola, I just really wanted to be like on-set Mama Bear, which is I played a Mama Bear and I tried to be, yeah.
I remember there was this one scene that we filmed in the set, in the studio. Sorry, I get my terms mixed up. In the studio, where, so prior to coming on set, you get sides, and it's the scenes that you're going to be filming that day, and then that's what you memorize and blah, blah, blah. I get to set that day, and they've switched all of the sides, and I now have to learn like 2 paragraphs of the language trig that we had to memorize, and I was like, oh my god. And it was happening in 30 minutes, so I had 30 minutes to memorize this entire like monologue of trig, and it was when I was in a nightmare. They didn't end up using the footage because I couldn't get it right, but I remember I was freaking out. I was going into the hair and makeup trailer like red in the face, going like, you got this, I swear you got this, it's okay. And then I had to be in bed like doing a nightmare, and that was the monologue, and I kept messing it up. It took like 17 takes, and I couldn't get it right. And eventually I just felt so overwhelmed because I was 11 and a half, 12 years old. I just started bawling, like sobbing. I was like, I can't do it, I'm really sorry, you guys. And then instantly, like, we were in the middle of the take when I started crying because I was like, oh my god. I just started sobbing. And instantaneously, she went from Clark to Mom, Eliza, and just immediately like ran over and was like, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. And I was like, are you sure it's okay? Like sobbing, and then her and I think Tati was there that day, and they both like ran and got me a cookie, and I felt so much better. And then we sat for like 30 minutes practicing the scene, and I felt instantly better. So that's an example of like what I was talking about, how it was really great.
Lucky to have her on set. Good question, Lee.
Hi, this is a question I like to ask my students every semester. What's your favorite novel and why?
I haven't read a book in so long.
Fair
I
to
would
see
say on
yours.
your class. I recently, not that recently, but I read The Time Traveler's Wife, and I just loved that book. That was the first book and the last book that I've read in a long time, and yeah, it's just, I just think it's so clever. Like, it's really well written, it's beautiful, it's a love story, and I'm a sucker for a love story. And throw in time travel, like, hello.
Oh my god, what's the most recent one? I reread Sharp Objects, which is obviously really cool. What else? Right now my novels are textbooks. Not that fun. Yeah, I don't know. That's a really good question, and I don't have an answer right now. Yeah. It's a cool book. It's a cool
show of that.
Oh.
Yeah, oh,
So
yeah.
disturbing.
Yeah. That's the book as well, yeah.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much. So you're like her mom in the show. Did that make y'all's like relationship closer?
Yeah, I think we had a close bond because of that, for sure. Yeah.
You had the majority of your scenes with Eliza.
Oh yeah, when I wasn't hiccuping. Yeah, 100%. Because it created that dynamic, and I think especially since I was so young, a lot of my upbringing became somehow like tied into the show. Not that I became like some crazy commander girl to this day, but like a lot of the themes that I was presented at such a young age, I grew up with, and it became like normalized within myself. So 100%, yeah. I relied on her for a lot of like advice. Between takes, I would like ask her for life advice.
And you're going to college, so good job, Eliza. Yes.
Well, thank you. I take full credit.
Thank you, good choice.
Hi, my question is for Lola. So you were like 12 coming at season 5, and you were driving the, was that you driving the motor?
Yeah, no.
No, okay. No, Maddie had a lot of scenes driving the motor. I was sure who got to drive and just like do the scenes inside of it.
I did get to do the scenes inside of it, and actually the funniest thing that I remember so perfectly, like picture perfect, I remember, that was like the first day that I was on set when we filmed that, like getting out of the room, and I was like, I'll clean for a few days and like, and do this. That was the first day that I was ever on set, and I remember I had to step out of the Rover, and they had some like stunt double drive in, and then, okay, pause, switch me in. But I remember it was like we were taking a while to set up the shot, and I was just waiting in the Rover, and it was an automatic car, but I thought I was cool, and I was like, total kid move. I was like, hand on the wheel, like Stitcher, looking like such a fool, and I'm 90% sure there was one take where they were like action, and the mic, because we used walkie-talkies, if you couldn't hear, the walkie-talkie in the car didn't register that they were like action, so I was still in the car like watching the camera start rolling, like pretending to like have a full race car. I wish I got to drive that thing. That would be sick. But yeah.
All right, last question.
So we realized earlier in Lola's panel that she's 2 years younger than you were when you played Clark at the beginning.
3 years. 3 years, right?
Well, 2 years and a couple months. So how would you play Clark now if you were to start in that role? And Eliza, how would you have played Maddie when you were younger?
Great last question, thank you.
I mean, it's hard to answer because I don't want to be like, well, I would have done this.
No,
It's fine.
it's a different perspective.
A different perspective, for sure. I don't know. I don't know.
The world's also very different now too. So it would change the way you think of Clark and the way you think of Maddie.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. I just know that when I was 11, 12, 13, that I was so full of beans and so excited to be on set. Like I was just like an Energizer bunny, and I think being on a show like that, I would have had an absolute blast. Yeah, like you. I would have done it like you. Yeah.
I was too much energy almost. Oh my god.
Imagine like right now getting a part where you're the lead of a sci-fi show that's super dark, and because with your big bubbly personality, it like both of you, it's a challenge.
Oh my god, that is really hard to think about. Oh, was I really? You were 2 years older than me when you started 100. Okay, can I just say props to Eliza, because I feel so unready for everything in life. So the fact that you were able to just go into it and completely lead this badass show with this badass character and fucking nail that shit like so well at that age, I don't know how to
from
like.
another country
Oh my god.
to the States and
Yeah,
then moved to
that
Canada.
is crazy. I just learned to to boil pasta in the microwave. And you took over this like really intense show. Keep in mind, a lot of dark stuff's happening, and you could like so easily take over this show and just kill it. I can't boil pasta. You killed that. So I don't have an answer for that, but that just is like a total props to Eliza for being able to do that. So.
Excellent, thank you.